Nigeria, Africa's most populous nation, brims with vibrant culture, towering metropolis, and a staggering number of ethnic groups and languages. Beneath its exuberant landscapes and bustling markets lies a dark story of political intrigue and power struggles. In this video, we take you on a journey into a chapter of Nigeria's history, often drowned by the noise of politics. Cases of assassination believed or alleged to be tied to powerful government or political forces. These are stories that continue to haunt the national psyche, stories that reveal the fragility of democracy and the volatile nature of power struggles. Most of these cases remain shrouded in mystery, from outspoken journalists who dared to question authority to prominent politicians poised to change the nation's trajectory. Each name on this list gives us a glimpse into just how perilous speaking truth to power can be, and how far-reaching the consequences of political vendettas can extend. Stick with us until the end as we peel back the layers of secrecy that shroud these cases and try to understand the turbulent relationship between politics, ambition, and tragedy. Some of these names may be familiar, others you might be hearing for the very first time, but all of them are more than just historical footnotes. There are critical episodes that remind us how the fight for transparency, accountability, and democracy can exact a tragic toll on families and whole communities. Our first case takes us back to the 1970s. General Murtala Mohammed, a bold reform-oriented head of state, rose to power in 1975 after deposing General Yakubu Gowon in a bloodless coup. Murtala Mohammed quickly became a figure of immense popularity, a no-nonsense leader who launched audacious anti-corruption campaigns and initiated structural changes in Nigeria's civil service. But on February 13, 1976, his transformative reign was cut short in the most shocking way imaginable. During a routine drive through Lagos, his vehicle was ambushed by a group of soldiers led by Lieutenant Colonel B.S. Dimka, who opened fire and ended the life of the charismatic leader on the spot. In the aftermath, the government clamped down on the coup plotters. Lieutenant Colonel Dimka and others were executed. Yet, to this day, theories abound. Was it a lone conspiracy, or did higher powers orchestrate it to stop Murtala's sweeping reforms? Though officially deemed as a coup attempt, many speculate that certain political and military elites who were uncomfortable with his swift policies may have pulled the strings. Jump forward a decade. Dele Giwa was not a politician, but a brilliant, fearless journalist. As the founding editor of Newswatch magazine, he sought to expose corruption at the highest levels of government. Giwa was known for his incisive investigative pieces, stories that demanded accountability in an era when many dared not criticize those in power. On October 19, 1986, an ordinary Sunday morning took a horrifying turn. A package delivered to Giwa's home exploded the moment he opened it, killing him instantly. Nigeria's first documented parcel bomb assassination sent a wave of shock and fear across the country. How could someone so prominent be killed in such a gruesome manner, and who would have orchestrated it? Rumors pointed to high-level involvement. Government security agencies vehemently denied any part in the crime. Despite attempts at unveiling the real perpetrators, the investigation stalled, and political maneuvering and reluctance by key officials to testify. Over 3 decades later, Dele Giwa's assassination remains a chilling reminder of the price many journalists pay for pursuing the truth. In the mid-1990s, Nigeria was under the tight grip of military dictator General Sani Abacha. During this period, Kudirat Abiola wife of the incarcerated chief MKO Abiola, who famously contested and won the annulled 1993 presidential election, emerged as a powerful voice against the regime. While MKO remained in prison, Kudirat courageously led protests and spoke publicly about her husband's cause, refusing to be silenced despite the obvious danger. Tragically, on June 4, 1996, Kudirat was gunned down in Lagos. Her assassination not only struck a blow to the pro-democracy movement, it also deepened the nation's outrage. To many, it seemed an open and shut indication that powerful elements within the regime wanted to snuff out any form of dissent. Though a handful of individuals were later implicated in her murder, most controversially Major Hamza al-Mustafa, Abacha's former chief security officer. The legal proceedings stretched on for years without conclusive closure. Accusations, retractions, and conflicting testimonies complicated the case. In January 2012, after many years of legal wrangling, a Lagos High Court found him guilty of conspiracy to murder Kudirat Abiola and sentenced him to death by hanging. Al-Mustafa appealed the conviction though, and in July 2013, the Court of Appeal in Lagos overturned the verdict, citing insufficient evidence and inconsistencies in testimonies. The next case is that of Alfred Dele Giwa, a wealthy businessman and staunch pro-democracy activist. Known for his financial support of opposition movements, he became a thorn in the side of Nigeria's military rulers. In the early to mid-1990s, Rewane was vocal in his condemnation of the annulment of the 1993 presidential election and made significant contributions to groups calling for democracy. On October 6, 1995, armed men stormed his Lagos residence and shot him dead, a brutal end that stunned activists within and beyond Nigeria. Conspiracy theories erupted. Could this have been a politically motivated hit on a man funding the pro-democracy movement? Multiple suspects were arrested, but like so many other high-profile assassinations of the era, official investigations struggled to determine a definitive chain of responsibility. While some people were charged, the constant fear and murkiness surrounding the case fueled public belief that powerful interests buried the truth. Alfred Rewane's assassination remains unsolved, etched in Nigeria's political memory as a grim example of how far powerful leaders might go to silence dissent. Chief Moshood Kashimawo Olawale, MKO Abiola, was by many accounts the acclaimed winner of the June 12, 1993 presidential election. Often described as Nigeria's freest and fairest, however, the election was abruptly annulled by the military regime of General Ibrahim Babangida. Abiola's bold decision to proclaim himself president in 1994 led to his arrest and imprisonment under General Sani Abacha's regime. For 4 long years, he languished in detention, his physical and mental health in a precarious state. On July 7, 1998, the very day he was due for release, Abiola collapsed during a meeting with a delegation of visiting US officials and died. The official cause? Cardiac arrest. Yet, the sudden suspicious timing sparked immediate controversy. Was it truly natural causes, or was it something more sinister at play? Conspiracy theories were rampant. Some argued that elements within the transitional military government did not want him freed to claim his mandate and lead a new political awakening. Despite an official autopsy, questions lingered. Did Abiola ingest something that led to his sudden demise, or was the intense stress of imprisonment simply too much to bear? Bola Ige, a senior advocate of Nigeria and a towering figure in southwestern politics, served as the nation's Attorney General and Minister of Justice from 1999 to 2001 under President Olusegun Obasanjo's civilian government. An eloquent speaker and champion of progressive ideas, Ige was recognized for his unwavering stand against corruption, as well as for advocating the rule of law during the tumultuous transition from military to civilian rule. Then, on December 23, 2001, Nigeria was rocked by one of its most shocking assassinations. Gunmen invaded Ige's Ibadan home and shot him dead, while his security detail was allegedly absent. Outrage flared across the country. If the nation's chief law officer could be murdered in his own residence, who was truly safe? High-profile politicians were arrested and questioned, yet, as investigations wore on, they became mired in allegations of political interference, contradictory testimonies, and even intimidation of witnesses. Ultimately, all suspects were acquitted, leaving the case unsolved. Chief A.K. Dikibo Marshal Harry was a prominent Nigerian politician known for his involvement in the opposition All Nigerian People's Party, ANPP. An influential figure from the South-South region, Harry was recognized for his strong grassroots support and his fierce criticism of the ruling People's Democratic Party, PDP. On March 5, 2003, in the midst of a heated election season, news broke that Harry had been assassinated in Abuja. Gunmen reportedly stormed his residence, shooting him multiple times. Harry's murder sent shockwaves through the country's political landscape, with many pointing to a direct link between his outspoken opposition efforts and the timing of his death. Although arrests were made, no definitive mastermind was ever identified. His killing led to a widespread condemnation, intensifying Nigeria's deep-rooted concerns about the intersection of politics, violence, and intimidation. Many still believe that had Marshal Harry been alive, he could have altered the power dynamics in the region, perhaps even the outcome of the 2003 elections. Instead, his death served as a chilling reminder of the ruthless strategies politicians employ during Nigeria's fiercely contested electoral battles. Engineer Funshaw Williams was a leading figure in Lagos politics. Charismatic and popular, he sought to become the Lagos State Governor under the People's Democratic Party, PDP. Williams was widely regarded as a visionary who could bring significant development to Lagos State. Tragically, on July 27, 2006, he was discovered strangled in his home. Given the high-profile nature of his candidacy and growing support base, allegations of political assassination instantly filled the air. Citizens demanded answers. Who would dare commit such a brazen murder, especially in the run-up to the 2007 elections? An investigation was launched. Arrests were made, but just like other major political killings, the case grew entangled in speculation and contradictory narratives. Some suspected that factional disputes within his own party were to blame, while others pointed to external political adversaries who feared his influence. To date, the truth behind Funshaw Williams' death remains elusive, overshadowed by political alliances and hush-hush negotiations. Moving closer to the modern era, Olaitan Oyerinde served as the principal private secretary to the then governor of Edo State, Adams Oshiomhole, a quiet but influential behind-the-scenes figure. Oyerinde was said to be deeply involved in policy formulation and political strategy within the administration. On May 4, 2012, armed assailants broke into Oyerinde's home in Benin City and shot him to death. In a nation by now all too familiar with politically tinged killings, this assassination stirred a fresh storm of accusations. Some believed the murder was meant to intimidate Governor Oshiomhole. Known for taking stands against entrenched political interest, others suspected a personal vendetta or an orchestrated attempt to destabilize the state government's reform agenda. Multiple arrests ensued. Some suspects were paraded before the media, but contradictory statements from law enforcement agencies, including the police and the State Security Service, the SSS, cast confusion over the true culprits. Each agency presented different confessions that pointed to different sets of suspects. Almost a decade later, no one has been convincingly prosecuted. A light on Oyerinde's tragic end highlighted yet again the difficulties of unraveling politically charged killings in a system rife with overlapping jurisdictions and vested interests. Our final case is another lesser known but equally harrowing story of political violence. Ogbonnaya Uche was a senatorial candidate in Imo State under the All Nigerian People's Party (ANPP) in the 2003 elections. He'd gained a following through grassroots mobilization, taking on the establishment and challenging the status quo. But on February 8, 2003, the season of hopeful campaigning turned dark. Unknown gunmen reportedly stormed Uche's home in Owerri and shot him dead. The timing, just weeks before the elections, prompted immediate suspicions of a political hit. Was Uche's surging popularity a threat to powerful figures? Did his public criticisms of incumbents make him a target? Despite outcries from constituents and demands for a thorough investigation, the subsequent inquiries yielded few concrete answers, and as in so many other cases, arrests led nowhere, and official findings were inconclusive at best. Years later, the name Ogbonnaya Uche remains a reminder to Nigerians on how the quest for democratic office can spiral into deadly confrontations. These 10 cases, though uniquely tragic, weave a common thread: the lethal intersection of power, ambition, and unresolved injustice. Each story raises troubling questions. How many more individuals were silenced for daring to challenge the status quo, or for seeking to reform a system resistant to change? Who truly benefits from these acts of violence? An individual, a faction, or an entire political class? While some official inquiries have been launched, too many ended with inconclusive findings, feeding fear into the public sphere. Yet, Nigeria endures, as does the hope that the truth will eventually prevail, helping to deter future violence and usher in lasting change. Thank you for watching. If you found this eye-opening, please share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into pivotal events shaping Nigeria and the world. Until next time.